the British cavalry chases some of the militia that's retreating, they literally overran a number of the people that were running away from the battle.
They're fighting over there. The horses are fighting with the women and children.
Here comes the British.
Why is that there? Voices.
At this point, everything really got confused. There's one constant in combat. Today, then, during the time of Sargon the Great, and that is chaos. Everything gets chaotic as everything goes on. Things don't go quite as planned. We do a pretty good job of putting on chaos.
They're all going to start going down. If you look, there's guys that are on the field over here. Now they're running.
Now, some of the Continental troops held out until the very end. The Delaware Regiment went from being a regiment to basically just being a couple of understrength companies after this battle. They lost over half their strength. They would later fight through the rest of the Southern campaign, but it was a bloody day for them at the Battle of Camden. Now, if you take a look at the total numbers on the field and multiply it by about 10, you'll get some idea of what the casualties were like in the real thing.
No, they're all running. It's almost over.
Not knowing what was ahead of them, Lord Cornwallis halted his army and held the field.
It's almost over.
At the beginning of this battle, the American army numbered 4,100 troops. The British, 2,239 troops. The Americans had between approximately 700 killed, wounded, missing during battle. The British, 66 killed, a little over 250 wounded. It was a very one-sided fight, a very strong British victory. But take what you see times about 10 and you'll see what the cost of it was. Now the British are going to go out, check for wounded. They did treat the wounded of both sides fairly. They might loot a few of them. Now you noticed women and children running out before. There were women and children who died in this battle in the aftermath of it. According to, I'm reading this from one of the books on the subject, that an individual named Thomas Pinckney, for whom Fort Pinckney and some of that's named, he wrote that the causeway at Rugeley's was rendered impassable for carriages by the wagons by which it was covered. The wagoneers had just run off and left them, just like what you see here, cutting the traces of the horses. Some of the camp followers had stayed with the army and were killed. Guilford Dudley wrote, some of them had newborn infants in their arms, a sight lamentable to view. The wagoners threw off their baggage to lighten their load so they could move faster. Dudley wrote, a man might almost walk upon it without touching the ground. So the only escape for the Continentals was to wade through the swamps on either side. This was the only place that the cavalry could not follow. The cavalry couldn't chase them through the swamp, and of course Tarleton's men were known for riding down refugees. So the ones that escaped generally did it through the swamp, or they were able to move quickly up the road. But take a look, multiply it by about 10, and you'll get an idea of what it was like. Fortunately today, we can say rise up and they can come back. Back then they couldn't. Just remember that we have our freedom because of those that fell.